do that.
Do you want me to introduce you?
Um, I mean, sure, if you want to. Yeah, Leora, you're welcome to eat. You can also eat on camera if you want. This is a pretty chill situation with this lovely small group here. So totally up to you. I just saw your message flash by.
Yeah, show your face if you're comfortable. So let me introduce Eliana Light. She received her master's in Jewish education from Davidson School at JTS in 2016. She offers professional development to educators, clergy, and lay leaders in order to elevate and deepen their prayer gatherings. Love those words. She is a songwriter, performer, and founder and cohort host of the Light Lab podcast. I have to go look that up because I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Sounds really fun.
I think.
And she currently resides in Durham. So take it away, Eliana.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. Just for those of you watching after the fact, I know 2 out of 3 of the wonderful people that are here. Um, oh, here's someone. Hello, Sue. Welcome. Let's start.
Thank you.
Hello. Let's start by taking a deep breath, settling in to this space and this time, and feel free to mute yourself so that we can sing, which is a strange thing to say. Be quiet so we can make noise. But that's what we do. And let's start here. Whether you know it or not, you are invited to sing or to listen. I die 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 I die 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 I die die I die die I die 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 I die 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 I 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 die 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 I die die I die die I die die I die die die. Today, I'm very grateful to be here to do this very, very, very minified version of the deep dive. And there's a question we have to ask before we start to dive, even if we're only going kind of shallowly, which is, what are you bringing with you? What are you bringing into this space? You can think about, why did you sign up for this thing? You can think about, how do I want to be present for the next 30 ish minutes? However, you want to take this question, I invite you to put your answers into the chat. What would you like to bring? What are you bringing with you on this dive? Us intrepid divers. I die 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 I die 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 I die die I die 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 I die 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 I die 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 I die die I die da 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 die 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 I die die I die die I die 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 I die die I die die I die die I die die die. Beautiful. So, hello everyone. My name is Eliana Light. I am the founder of the Light Lab. This is some stuff about me, but they already read my bio, so you don't really have to read that. All you need to know is that I am and have been for a very long time passionate about tefillah education. Started doing professional development a long time ago. Every time I talked about tefillah, the room would be full. Why? Because we've kind of decided as a Jewish community that it's important to teach tefillah to our young folks, and that tefillah is the cornerstone of our synagogue life. And yet, we often take that for granted and do not do much inquiry beyond that. So, my question used to be, tefillah, how can we do it? I assume like our synagogues are going to do tefillah. Let's figure out how to make it positive and powerful, sometimes I would say, or how to make it fun and engaging. Those are buzzwords, right? How do we make it enjoyable, just assuming that it's something that we're going to do, when in fact, where I am at now is we actually have to take a step back and ask, why do we do it? And we see this trend throughout Jewish education these days, thinking about the why, starting from why. But in fact, with tefillah, I actually think we have to take a step back from the why question as well and start with the question, what is it? Because we don't always talk about what it is. It's one of those words like God or spirituality that we don't always talk about. Now, here at the Kaplan Center for Jewish Peoplehood, with our Reconstructing Judaism friends, perhaps we are talking about what God is and what prayer is. And I think that's why I was inspired to apply for this prize with that spirit in mind, really thinking about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then we can get to the question of how. A little bit of my philosophy. I'll make this bigger here. I think we can do that. Isn't this cool? Prezi. It's a wonderful thing. Um, a big part of my philosophy, ours here at the Light Lab, is that tefillah is the word for both liturgy and prayer. And this becomes very important because they are both crucial, they support each other, and in Judaism, we get both. We say we can't really have one without the other. We can, but they wouldn't be as powerful or potent. Liturgy is our sacred heritage. It's our connection to community. It's what we have inherited from our ancestors. It's shared language and it's wisdom for life. The themes that come up over and over again in the Siddur can, if we invite them to, strengthen our spiritual cores and help us lead better lives in the world. Prayer is deeply personal, and prayer has a lot of different um, ways of talking about it. I like thinking about calling out a response to life, caring attention, returning to oneness, whatever it is something that is deeply personal. We have the communal and the personal, and as we know in Judaism, we don't have one without the other, which is why it is a powerful thing that liturgy and prayer together make tefillah. And so, how do we hold both of them? How do we explore both of them? There are already a lot of barriers to tefillah. A lot of it is in Hebrew. There are theological barriers. So, our mission here at the Light Lab is to make Jewish liturgy and prayer practice accessible and meaningful to all seekers. I'm going to skip a couple of these things and just say that one of the ways that we've been playing around with doing that is with this methodology of the deep dive. The goal for me in starting to play around with this was, how do we alchemize liturgy into prayer with the understanding that just saying the words of the liturgy itself is not prayer. Prayer is something else. Because prayer is personal and happens here, there is sometimes a bridge that has to be crossed if we put prayer. Hi, I was just taken out of the room I was presented in and put here. How are you, Devere?
Hi.
Um,
Great. Good to
so
see
what an
you.
interesting.
Here she comes.
Oh, it was like Harry Potter. I was whisked away. Oh my gosh. Well, it's good to be back. Hello. How were you while I was gone? A moment of chaos. Oh no. Can't leave these wonderful people alone. What are they gonna do? Okay. In any case, Zoom, it's a wonderful thing. So one challenge you might find is people getting apparated without their knowledge. No, just kidding. The thing, yes, to continue, how do we alchemize liturgy into prayer? Now, being in nature can help, music can help, but there's got to be something about the words of the liturgy itself. Otherwise, we could just be singing folk songs. Like there's other things that we could do if it was about something else, but there's got to be something about the liturgy inherent. And so, what do we do? So we're going to do like a truncated version of the methodology today. And we already did the first part, which is the opening. Now, if we were doing an actual deep dive, I would have sent out a very robust packing list of what we need to bring. Most of that packing list is spiritual, emotional, mindful, in the sense that hello, in the sense that we're asking people to look at things that they might be familiar with as if for the first time, and to explore some of the philosophy before they even arrive. And also, we've told people in advance that a part of the deep dive is reflection. We go through 3 phases besides the opening and the closing. There's head knowing, body knowing, and heart knowing. So the first thing is head knowing, which consists of a guided chavruta study, um, which is also something we don't often do. Chavruta paired study, where you and a partner or a small group enter into relationship with a text together. We don't often do chavruta study on prayer text, and I find that slowing down and looking word for word really helps bring things out. So we're going to do a little bit of that together because we're a nice small group. And I like to start by greeting our fellow learners and divers with a little smile and a little bit of gratitude into the camera for showing up, and smiling at all of you who are watching after the fact, if you are, and taking a moment again to take a breath, to center and to ground ourselves, and to notice the holy capacity of this moment through a blessing. So let's read the blessing for studying Torah together, which is here on this slide. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We experience your blessing, Holy One of all time and space, in this opportunity to become aware of holiness through getting busy with words of Torah. And of course, here in the Light Lab, nicknames for God are highly encouraged. So before we even look at the English, I want us to just look at this Hebrew and to feel this Hebrew. First, I'm going to invite you to listen to me reading it. And then I invite you to read it out loud for yourself. Before we even look at what the words mean, I invite us to focus on what the words sound like, how they hit our ear and how they hit our palate. You'll also notice, as it says here, that we have a couple of choices you can make. Modeh, traditionally male, modah, traditionally female, modet, coming out of the non-gendered Hebrew project as an ungendered option, and also the option of calling God Melech, King, or Ruach, Spirit. So I invite you to open your ears as if you have never heard this before and see how it hits. Modah ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehechazarta bi nishmati bechemla rabba emunatecha. Now I invite you to read it out loud in your own space. Beautiful. And feel free to unmute as we discuss as if we're a little chavruta here. Is there anything that you noticed or found interesting in focusing on the sounds and the feel of this line?
So in reading this and thinking about the fact that you say it right when you just wake up, it occurred to me how difficult it is to say these words when you just wake up.
Right. It's kind of like what you're saying is sparking in me. My mom tried once, it didn't work. This alarm clock that runs around on the floor. Have you heard about this one? It's got wheels and it like runs around your room, and the idea you have to get out of bed and chase it and turn it off. So it's like, we're gonna make it hard on purpose because then you have to think about it and wake up. Never thought about that. That's great. Deborah, what you thinking, Deb?
I just kept thinking about how I like the word ruach better than melech.
I agree.
Yes.
I never thought about it that way, but yes.
You can definitely, right? Maybe you felt it in your gut when I said melech and you're like, oh, no,
I
maybe
always feel it. Every time I
always
hear
feel it.
melech, I go, meh.
Yeah. What about you, Sue?
I just I love that there's a lot of versions in this prayer that you can, they've changed, I don't want to say change, but they've changed the wording to really be inclusive. Um, I find this prayer a fun prayer to say in the morning. Yes, it's like a tongue twister and you have to really think of the words, but I really do. I've been attending our minion and on Thursday mornings at our synagogue. I just started a new position and we have minion Thursday mornings, and it's just a nice feel when we all start the service with modality.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister or it's like Susian. Like there's something playful about it.
Yeah.
Especially for me, like Chai v'kayam. Like for me, that's kind of when you say it like that, when you like hear how it's, oh, that's like interesting. It's like turning in on itself. And then at the end, what stood out to me was that Bi nishmati, those E sounds that are in here, Bechemlah Rabah Emunatecha, and then ending with those out breath of hey sounds, something that's happening internally and something that's happening externally. We could talk about that a lot more. But then on your sheet, on your Chavruta sheet, you would see 3 different translations. And so I invite you, kind of in the interest of time, to read through them. Usually we would do it out loud. Oh, we have time. Allison, would you like to read the first one out loud, the one on the left?
Thank you, living God and Master, for giving me another day of awareness. I thank you for this sacred trust.
Beautiful. Deb, would you like to read the one in the middle?
Sure. I acknowledge you, ruler spirit, everlasting. You have resouled me. You believe in me. Eliana light.
Yes. And Sue, getting the glasses on to read the third entry.
Thankful am I in your presence, spirit who lives and endures, for you've returned to me and to me, my soul with companion. Obviously, the glasses are not working. Abundant is your faith.
Beautiful. So what catches your eye or your heart? What do you find you're being drawn to, either because it is speaking to you in a positive charge? This is calling to me, or in a negative charge. I'm finding myself pulled towards it because it doesn't feel great, right? What's catching you here?
I like the idea of the soul being returned to me.
Mm-hmm. That feels like a comforting thought. What else is speaking to us today?
I like the day of another day of awareness. That's beautiful.
That's the idea of what does it mean to be a person with a soul, right? It means we have the capacity for awareness, at least in this translation.
I like the idea of just we're being thankful. Thank you. We've said it several, we're saying it and saying it out loud. Like, thank you. We're here. We're listening. We're ready to start our day.
Beautiful. So hello again. If we were in this Chavruta time, we would have a long time, depending on the length of the program, between like 20 and 45 minutes. And I have never been in a situation where people run out of things to talk about, in the sense that part of the goal of the deep dive is to show us and remind us that there is always something new to discover when we slow down enough to let the liturgy speak to us. Even if you're in a learner service, even if you're in a renewally chanty service, at least for me, it never seems like there's enough time to truly dig deep into these beautiful gems of prayers that we're saying. And so the goal of doing something like this, separate from a prayer context, is to give us that gift of time. And then once we have explored first the Hebrew and the sounds of the Hebrew, then the translations, there will be, it'll say, choose one of the following paths. Often people don't even get to this part, but it's nice that they are, with the goal of, again, moving from liturgy to prayer. The section that's titled But Why includes facts about the prayer. Where does it show up? Who wrote it? Where does it come from? Maybe from the Tanakh text. And then all of those are followed by encouraging us to ask why. We say it first thing in the morning. Why? Why now and why not later? These questions we might take for granted to say, oh, actually, this was a choice. Somebody wrote Mada'ani. We actually, unlike a lot of prayers, we know who he was. His name was Moshe ibn Machir, and he lived in the 15th century. Like, we know that. But it says in the Talmud that you should say that you're grateful every morning, which actually comes from Eicha, interestingly enough, their proof text, right? So there's all sorts of interesting intertextual stuff that we can explore, and to ask why this prayer, why in this place, to remind us that a person wrote this. And we'll get back to that in number 3. We'll offer something called Translation Lab, where if it's a short prayer that we're looking at, we'll offer a word by word translation with multiple translations offered, and encourage people to play around with translating the prayer for themselves, using both the words that are on the page and also their own experience and their own words in their own language, reminding us that all translation is interpretation, and that part of what can make tefillah accessible or not is the translations, and that we can't ignore the words that are on the page because they're there. Author empathy is an exercise where we imagine who wrote this. Either we imagine the person that actually wrote it if we know who it was, but with a lot of our tefillot, we don't know who wrote it. So we get to imagine who wrote this. Like, somebody said this for the first time, right? What had just happened in their lives that this is how they're responding? Can we like draw a picture of them, use our imaginations, and really explore who wrote this, what had just happened to them, and has anything happened to me like that? Have I ever been in that situation? And liturgical advice is a fun one, where we think about, if this tefillah, if this piece of liturgy was giving me advice, what would it be? And I can phrase it like a fortune cookie fortune, or a TED Talk title, or a self-help book, right? Moda'ani has something to say to me today. What is it? If I took that advice to heart, how might my life be different? If we all took that advice to heart, how might the world be different? And that allows us into a space of recognizing that prayer and liturgy, I believe, are meant to transform us so that we are different when we leave the prayer space. So where is Moda'ani actually pointing us towards today? Since we're a small group, I'll stop there for now and ask if there are any questions or thoughts on this kind of head knowing piece of the dive. Oh, Deb, I hear you talking, but I cannot hear you. I see you talking, but I cannot hear you.
I think it's really beautiful, and I like the idea of looking deeper into the prayers and how they affect us. It makes me think of the 100 languages of children, which help inform your sense of self in relationship to the words, the actions, the ideas, the thoughts that are coming from the prayers. That can help start your day, formulate your hours, create a space, whatever the prayer is guiding you to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very deep.
Yeah, that's why it's
It also reminds me of the way we studied in MTEI many years ago. How you can, and I still love like taking a word and how the meaning of a word can transform everything. Like in my own work, I'm looking at spiritual development and spiritual nourishing. They're very different, but flourishing, spiritual flourishing. It's so much more beautiful than development, but
Mhm.
it means more.
Right. That's beautiful. The
Yeah.
words matter very much.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, kind of diving deep is one of the things we do on the podcast. There are two kinds of episodes, one with a roundtable of me and my friends Cantor Ellen Dreskin and Rabbi Joshua Shosky going very deep on a particular prayer. And then I do interviews with people who I think are doing interesting things in the tefillah and tefillah education space, which has been really cool. So we have around 10 minutes left. I want to share kind of what's going to happen next, and we're going to do a very short, condensed version of it, but I appreciate you for going along with me. What happens after we've had ample time in Chavruta to study and ample time to discuss what was sparked in us, because I've done this with people who are masters in this stuff, and there's always something new to discover, which is what makes it very exciting, especially for me. Something new comes up every time because we are new, and we are renewed each day. After after the
for a second?
head knowing,
Okay.
um, um, we move into body knowing, and that goes straight into heart knowing. Body knowing is moving the text through us, usually through chant or through song. If we're doing a regular hour and a half session, we might sing one melody over and over again. If we're doing a longer session, we might sing 5 melodies. We might sing 10 melodies, with the goal of feeling it in our bodies, encouraging people to stand, to move, to dance, to sit, to be in this embodied form. Now that we have learned the prayer intellectually, let's bring it into our embodied selves. And that goes directly into a space of heart knowing. We will have asked people in advance to gather reflection tools and explain what that is. Now that we've studied with our brain, now that we've felt in our body, how do you wish to respond to the world? What is your prayer today? Is that a prayer that you feel like you want to dance out or sing out or play your instrument or write or draw or paint or sit in? Like whatever that might be, we give people a chance to do that. So let's do a mini version of that now. Let's sing a little bit of Moda'ani, moving it into our body. We'll take a mindful moment and we'll have a couple of minutes of response. It's certainly not going to be enough time, but why not? Why not take a minute to sing, to listen, and to be? And of course, choose your own language. Moda'ani lefanecha ruach chai bekayam. Moda'ani lefanecha ruach chai bekayam. Moda'ani lefanecha, moda'ani lefanecha. I invite you to find a way to sit in your chair that is comfortable and yet engaged, maybe with your feet flat on the floor and your hands to your lap, open or closed, your spine straight as if it is a ladder from heaven to earth and earth to heaven, and allowing your eyes to fall to a close or focusing on a spot on the floor in front of you, just for this sacred moment. From the little that we have been able to dig deep into Moda'ani, what do we hear it saying to us? Once we have opened ourselves to it, what do we wish to respond with? What is our prayer to the universe, to the Holy One in whatever way we conceive of it? What is our response? We'll take a minute with our cameras off to respond, talking out loud in our space, dancing, singing, writing, whatever we need to do for the next minute. What is your response? What is your prayer? Welcome back, everyone, if you are ready, when you are ready. Again, not enough time. But that's okay, because it's always there. It's always there when we want to come back to it. I'm very grateful that you came to learn about this program, and I'd love to share a couple of things about it. First of all, is that it works surprisingly well over Zoom, I have found. I think because it gives people the freedom to play around with prayer response in their own spaces in a way that getting a group together, and I've tried versions of this live in person, and that last part just doesn't work as well, because people feel freer when they're in their own space and they're not worried about judgment, being judged, even if we make it a non-judgmental space. So it's been really lovely. It's offered through the Light Lab and in collaboration. So we are putting together a 3-part series about the Shema in January, February, to play around with this and to see if people will come and what they want to do. And that dive is going to be even deeper, because each paragraph of the Shema is going to get 2 sessions. The first is with Rabbi Professor Reuven Kimmelman, who is one of the foremost liturgists of our time, to talk about the poetic structure and the all of the kind of, oh my gosh, what is this stuff that he knows about historically and poetically. And then the next evening, we'll do an hour and a half long version of this methodology to take all the information that we learned and to move it through us. And we're excited to have people sign up and to partner with synagogues and whoever wants to come and see how that goes. And then we also offer the deep dive in collaboration with other organizations. We were at Jeffrey's synagogue on Sunday. It was already on Sunday doing a version of this.
And I heard great things. People loved it.
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't come. I can't remember where I was, but I was doing something.
Well, thanks. It really was quite fun and special, and we've done it. I mean, I have stuff written up already on Sim Shalom, and you could do it with something long like Aleinu. We took, there was like a mini online conference my friend and I ran where we spent one day. It was 2.5 hour sessions. We spent one day just looking at Micha Mocha, but just like the line up until Osef Fela. And people were like, we don't have enough time. 5 hours is not enough time, which is great. And then the second day looking at Aleinu. So showing this is something that you can do both with like one line or a couple of words or with an entire long prayer. There's stuff to do. And it's just one of the things, really the Light Lab comes out of the work that I've been doing around tefillah education. And I see it as a place to connect people who are doing this work, to explore it, and also to be like rah, rah, rah for Sidur in a way that there are organizations that are showing, look at this accessible, meaningful way to learn Torah or Talmud, and to do the same thing for our liturgy and prayer practice traditions. So we have 2 minutes left. Wondering if you have any questions, comments.
I was just thinking though that Jeff and I participate. Well, our rabbi just retired with Audrey Friedman. Well, no, that's not her name. Audrey. Cantor Audrey, I don't know, who is phenomenal. And she would do chanting, and she would, give us the chant, and then we would talk about the meaning of it, and then we would go into this like, whoa, just in that space.
Yeah.
And then we talked about how it made us feel, and then you'd go out into the world with it in you, and it would resonate. Just it's a little like that, only even more what you're doing.
Yes, I love that. I love the idea that when the song is over, it's still resonating. It's just resonating internally
Yeah,
and not out
and it comes
externally.
like, you'll be walking down the street, and all of a sudden I find myself humming. It's like, where did that come from?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and you're right in that it's kind of like even more so. A lot of the spaces I've been in have been music focused spaces, and of course I love it. I'm a musician. I love melodies, and I think sometimes or I've been in spaces where we've said it's only the music, right? The music is doing all of the heavy lifting. It is the singing that is the thing. And again, that's great. Why aren't we just singing folk songs and chants from other traditions? Like there has to be something, and I think there is, inherent in the liturgy
Mhm.
that makes it the thing that we do. And so diving deep into the words, the goal, like in that session where we did like in the morning and the evening, we asked people like, see how Micha shows up for you today. Like it's gonna, right? We've focused on it now for 2.5 hours. Like it's gonna show up today. How is it gonna show up? Which is a really cool thing. Okay, it's 12:50. Closing. What are you taking with you out of this deep dive? We're not gonna do it. Ways to connect with us / me. I also put a PDF in the chat. Also, most of you know where to find me. If you're watching this later and you don't know where to find me, you can email me at eliana@lightlab.co, or find us on Instagram or Facebook at the Lights.lab. Thank you for joining me
Thank you.
/ us. It was a pleasure to dive with you today.
Good luck.
Thank you. And now I think we can go back to the main room whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Enjoy your break. Let's see, leave, breakout here. Okay, I think I'm gonna head out. Thank you. That was our time, right? 50?
Yep, that's it.
Great. Thank you so much
You're welcome, Eliana. Thank you.
today.